It is now time to induct the 2021 class of coaches into the VYPE Hall of Fame. First, Rick Lynch of Concordia Lutheran Baseball. Rick Lynch tragically passed away in December. He coached for 37 years. In 2015, he won a state title at Concordia Lutheran. Rick Lynch gave his life to mentoring young players and will be dearly missed.
And welcome back to the 2021 VYPE Awards. We're inducting another into our Hall of Fame coaches. Rick Lynch of Concordia Lutheran Baseball, tremendous career, touched thousands of lives over the years. He, unfortunately passed over the winter, which really sorry for your family, our condolences. But today we have Robb Lynch, his brother. Robb, just talk about growing up. Brothers are competitive, right?
Very, very. And we were coaches' kids.
Right.
We came from a coaching family, and I was the only guy smart enough not to get into coaching.
Well said.
Rick got into it. And growing up, we moved a lot. I think we lived, before we got out of high school, we lived in 8 different homes. Dad started here in HISD, which is still near and dear to our heart. And then we went to high school in Lawton, Oklahoma. And Rick was a baseball guy, and I was a football and track and field guy. I pretended to be a football guy, but it's more the track and field guy.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was very competitive growing up.
What do you attribute his success to over the years? Just the longevity of his success as well.
Well, I think he loved what he was doing.
Yeah.
He loved being around kids. He loved coaching. But more importantly, I think it was a bigger thrill for him when guys would come back and say they'd been successful in something other than baseball. It was very important for him that they learned to play the game, that they respected the game, and that they also that they were gentlemen when they played and they did well in school when they left. And I think he got a bigger thrill out of that, guys coming back and say, I'm successful, I'm married, and I have kids, than he got out of a guy coming back that was a #1 draft pick.
What's interesting, talking to some of those guys, we do stories on Concordia Lutheran. They had a great year this year. And, Sean Fitzpatrick, who's their star, says, hey, Coach Lynch told us, just get 1% better every day. And he continues to take that, as he plays now, and he'll be a player at Arkansas in years to come. But just the legacy that he left was so powerful. When they dedicated the field and they had the memorial service of the service there, what was that like?
Well, it was very special because my mom and dad are both still alive. And so for them to be able to enjoy that, obviously nobody wants to lose their son, but for them to be able to come back and enjoy seeing their son honored like that, it was really special. And I'll tell you honestly, it really helped the healing process for my dad, as long as he coached and the many places he coached. But to have the field named after you, if you're a coach, it doesn't get any better than that.
You're right. Well, all that he deserves. We're going to miss him. Rick Lynch is the Hall of Fame inductee for this upcoming year. This is twin brother Robb Lynch. Hey, thanks for the time.
Hey, thank you guys. Rick respected anybody that supported high schools, and you guys did. And one of his big things was he would always talk about the commitment that kids make, and for you guys to honor what the kids were doing. He really appreciated that.
All right, so let's get back to the 2021 VYPE Awards presented by Houston Methodist Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Gary Joseph of Katy Football. In 2004, Gary Joseph took over the Katy program after winning 3 state titles as an assistant. Since taking over, Joseph has guided the Tigers to 5 state championships, including winning 1 in 2020. In 2016, Joseph was enshrined into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame.
All right, everybody. No awards ceremony would be complete without a Gary Joseph sighting. Katy football coach Gary Joseph, he is being inducted into our Hall of Fame. Legendary coach at Katy. He's never going to say it. I'll just say it for him. So, all right, Coach. This season, another amazing season, kind of inside of a pandemic. For the teams that had a program and really are really well organized, it really probably benefited. What do you think? Do you think that having a program in place for the past 30, 40 years really helped you guys win a state championship?
No question it did. our kids handled it very well. They persevered. We'd take our whole team and got tested, about 6-7 times during the year. It just disrupted the continuity, and it disrupted the things that you try to go over and over and over again. But they handled it very well. I was real pleased with that and real proud of them. Our school district did a good job of getting us tested and getting our kids ready to go and things. But it was just a real crazy season from that session.
So people outside of Texas, they all think Friday Night Lights, and there's no better program to really convey that than the Katy Tigers outside of the state of Texas. Or if they're just kind of a casual fan, what does Katy football mean to your community, but also outside of your community?
Oh, it's a big thing. People respect what our kids have done. It's exciting that we sell out of season tickets, and it's exciting for our kids that we still have a community. It's still important to these people. It goes back to what a lot of schools have. Our season ticket holders, some of them have held their season tickets for over 40 years. It's just they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of our kids, and they respect our kids for the job they do, and they know the work they have to put in to sit there and be successful. But it's really it's a lot of fun to sit there and be in a place where football's important, where athletics are important, and it's great to be in a place where kids, grow up, learn the right and wrong ways to do things and stuff. And, I couldn't be more pleased with that aspect. I've got a great staff, that teaches a lot of character and do a lot of character things. Kids don't really understand what they're learning by playing high school athletics until they get out of high school athletics. And later on, they'll realize what they've learned. And, our building principal is second to none. He gives me the opportunity to hire coaches and bring people in. And I get great quality character people to come in to work with us and work with our kids, and that makes a big difference. And everybody's pulling in the same direction on this thing. And for our athletic director, she sits there and takes a lot of pressure off of us, and a lot of heat off us when we get in the playoffs, because she does a lot of the flipping and deciding and things like that, things that I don't have to sit there and worry about. And like I said, from top to bottom, it's just a real neat place to coach.
What I love about this Hall of Fame is that these ladies and gentlemen have touched lives, 10,000 lives over their coaching careers. One of the best in the business, Coach Gary Joseph. I learned something. I'm going to rewatch this so I can take a couple of notes, because I'm going to use some of this with my own family. Congrats to you on being a recipient of the VYPE Hall of Fame 2021 class, Coach Gary Joseph.
Greg Wise of Jack Yates Basketball. Wise has built Yates into a national brand, winning 4 state titles and has been to 7 state tournaments. In 2010, he led the Lions to the national championship with a 34-0 record. Greg Wise of Jack Yates Basketball.
All right, and we're back at the 2021 VYPE Awards here. Another Hall of Fame inductee, Greg Wise from Yates High School. He needs no introduction. Coach, congrats. This is the face of Houston basketball. Just talked about your, kind of your lineage of basketball here. Your son was a really, really good player also at Kingwood. Just talk about, how you've seen Houston grow as a basketball community.
Well, it's funny. It kind of had its ups and downs. There was a couple of years in there where I felt like it was a little low in terms of people coming in. Not sure what the reason was, but now we back on the uptick, where loads of talent and great teams and obviously great coaches, and so real excited about being part of it.
Well, staying close to home, the Yates basketball community, just Third Ward, has embraced y'all. What has that been like to see really a community neighborhood just get around Yates basketball?
Man, that means as much to me as anything, because a lot of people, Matt, don't know I grew up in Third Ward. Mm-hmm. And so those guys, the George Walkers and the Jimmy Blacklocks, and all them guys were like my mentors and big brothers to me. And still, for them to send me a text appreciating what we're doing, that means everything. But to recognize we go to Austin and have the biggest crowd that ever played there, and then we go to Hawaii and Alabama in those tournaments, and some of them it may be halfway full, but then we get there and then, it's a full house, and so, that lets you know you're doing something that people want to see.
Yeah, it's really cool because it does just travel all over the place. Talk about when you took this job, what were the cornerstones and what are the cornerstones today that really are the foundation of Yates basketball?
I just think it's the neighborhood and the community of people from the beginning. Again, growing up from the people that I feel like built it and have things that they've done that people don't realize and still need to be recognized for things for, like, you know, what Jimmy Blacklock did in terms of being the first starting black person point guard at UT and things of that nature. So so just to see our whole community come out and pack the gym, and then a lot of times when gyms are packed, they pack with kids. You know, ours are packed. We have kids, but it's probably as many adults there as there are kids. So that lets you know that the whole community is behind what you're doing.
All right. His way works. Trust me on that. Third Ward loves him. Houston loves him. People across the country love the brand of basketball that he has built at Yates. This is Matt with VYPE, one of our 2021 honorees. Coach Wise of Yates, congrats. One of the best in the business.
And Robeek of Cy-Fair Girls Basketball. Robeek has over 600 wins under her belt, been to 4 state tournaments, and won 2 state titles, one in 2008 and the other in 2010. In her career, she coached the legendary Ogwumike sisters, Nneka and Shanae, who both went on to be #1 overall picks in the WNBA. She is Ann Robeek of Cy-Fair Girls Basketball.
All right, everybody, back here at the VYPE Awards, one of our Hall of Fame recipients, Ann Robeek of Cy-Fair High School. Coach, welcome. What does it mean to, you know, receive an award like this? 600 wins, 2 state championships. I mean, and you're still going. It's not like this career is over. You're still rolling. Just walk me through what it's like to, you know, finally see some of these fruits of your labor come through.
Well, first of all, it was a little bit surprising, I have to say, and humbled by it for sure. There's a lot of people in this area that are well-deserved of this honor, so to be in their presence is really nice, and I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very much.
Just talk about, you know, what Cy-Fair has meant to you. I mean, you're kind of a legend in that community. Basketball is so rich over there, and it kind of started with the Cy-Fair Bobcats, and then it went to AAU, and then now you see the Cy Woods and Cy Creeks of the world. But just talk about the development of Cy-Fair ISD basketball, girls basketball, when you got there.
I tell you what, one thing about Cy-Fair High School itself and Cypress Fairbanks ISD, I truly believe this, and I'm not talking about myself. We have some great coaches in that area, and great coaches develop great players, and develop good players, and then they make good players great players. And that's one thing about our area for sure. We have some of the best coaches in the area. And again, we've had some phenomenal athletes, not only at Cy-Fair, but Cypress Creek, Cypress Woods. We had, if I'm not mistaken, somebody could probably help me on this. We had, I want to say, 4 young ladies that played in the Cypress Fairbanks ISD, all in the Sweet 16 this past NCAA tournament. So that alone says a lot about it. And there were other kids in the area that were not Cypress Fairbanks ISD, but from the Houston area. So it's rich, and I just can hope it continues and pray that it continues to grow.
And yeah, you're at the epicenter of it. When you talk about special kids, you have to talk about the Ogwumike sisters. What was it like when they first got on campus, and then to see where they've gone today? It's really amazing.
It's funny because, you know, they get there as a 14-year-old kid, and you don't realize, and they don't realize that they're a 14-year-old kid. And now look around and see what they've become and what they've made people around them become, and how they've improved not only my life, but improved the lives of other of their teammates, of our school, of our campus. They've represented us, they've represented their family, they've represented women's basketball the best way you can.
You're right about that. You know, and then talk about you got 600 wins a couple years back, the state titles. What's something that you just will never forget while coaching at Cy-Fair?
Gosh, it's those state championships that's top notch. That feeling never goes away. It's an amazing feeling. And you know, I woke up the next morning, somebody called me or texted me and said they can never take that away from you, and that's by God the truth. But you know, not only those state championships, but the kids you meet and the assistant coaches I've had, and the friendships I've had, and even the friendships with our opponents. I mean, we've become friends as well. So And again, I just pray and hope that we have good young coaches, female coaches, good role models for our kids, both male and female. We need that. The kids need that.
All right, it's one of the best in the business. That's why she's a VYPE Hall of Famer. Ann Robeek of Cy-Fair High School. Girls basketball, 600-plus wins, state championships, etc. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on being in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It really does.
Lynne Clark of Pearland Softball. Clark has been to the playoffs in 22 of her 23 years at the helm of the program. She has made 4 state tournament appearances, won 1 state crown, and has over 700 career wins. The Dobie grad played at Louisiana Tech, where she helped lead the Bulldogs to 3 College World Series. Clark has been at Pearland since 1998 and has been inducted into the Texas Girls Coaches Association Hall of Fame.